I saw him board the last bus of the night. And by the next stop, he had vanished, but his seat was soaking, dripping with warm blood. My name is Evan, and for the past 2 years, I've worked the night shift in a small town in Northern California. My shift always ends after midnight, and the only way home is the lonely Route 19 night bus, the kind of bus that's so empty, it feels like even the driver is half asleep or half dead. That night, the air was thick with a strange, heavy mist. I stood at the bus stop with my hands shoved into my pockets, watching my breath dissolve in the cold. From far down the road, the bus headlights cut through the fog, and I stepped forward without knowing that something was about to follow me inside. The doors opened with a hiss. The lights inside flickered weakly, half dying, half undecided whether to stay on. Bill, the driver, gave me a tired nod. I moved to the middle section and sat down. The bus lurched into motion, humming through the quiet night. Then, at the very next stop, someone boarded. He climbed in slowly, a tall man, hood soaked, head slightly tilted to one side like his neck wasn't holding properly. He moved past me, and a smell followed him. Sharp, metallic, the kind you only smell in hospitals or in nightmares. The smell of blood. He walked straight to the last row and sat by the window. Still, too still. He didn't adjust his clothes or shake off the rain. He didn't even breathe. I could feel him staring at me even before I looked up. I kept my eyes on my phone, but in the reflection of the window, I saw him. His face hidden in the hood, but his eyes huge, black, hollow, locked onto mine. A shiver crawled down my spine. I forced myself to stare ahead and not turn around. The rain hammered the windows, and the darkness outside made the bus feel like a metal coffin sliding through nothingness. Then the bus jerked, violently, and came to an abrupt stop. All the lights died instantly. The engine cut off. A suffocating silence filled the cabin, broken only by the rhythmic tapping of rain on the roof. Bill's shaken voice echoed from the front. "Evan, stay in your seat. Something's wrong with the transmission." I lifted my phone for light and froze. A soft sound came from behind my neck. A whisper. A hiss. SSS. I spun around. He was standing over my seat, his face inches from mine. And it was wrong twisted, skin torn and reattached in jagged ways, eyes wide and dead like something had hollowed him out. His breath was cold and heavy. My throat closed. Before I could scream, he leaned in further and whispered in a voice that sounded scraped against metal. "You shouldn't be on this bus tonight." I felt my heartbeat crash against my ribs. His hand rose slowly, long fingers, stretched unnaturally thin, dripping with dark, thick blood that snapped me out of the trance. I stumbled into the aisle. "Bill, open the door," I yelled. Bill slammed the release switch, but with no power, the doors barely twitched. The bus was trapped. Then a loud splash echoed through the cabin. I turned and saw the entire back row drenched in blood, fresh, warm, spreading across the seats. The man had vanished. I should have stayed away, but some part of me, fear, disbelief, or stupidity, pulled me toward the back. The air felt hot, humid, thick with the smell of iron. I touched one of the seats. The blood was warm. Too warm. My phone buzzed suddenly in my hand. A notification. Passenger left bus, tracking complete. My heart stopped. That notification only appears when a leave-tracked rider exits the bus. But I checked the map anyway. A red dot blinked on the screen inside the bus. And not just inside. Behind me. I whipped my head around. He stood in the aisle. Much closer. His wet, broken smile spreading unnaturally across his ruined face. He reached for my arm, and the moment his fingers touched my skin, an icy burn shot up my entire arm, as if touching something that had died in the snow long ago. "Bill, go. Just go," I screamed. Bill desperately cranked the ignition again and again. The bus engine coughed, struggled, and then roared to life. The lights flickered back on. The sudden jolt threw the man backward. He hit the floor and dissolved. Not vanished, dissolved, like smoke fading into the air, leaving behind only the pool of blood where he had stood. The bus accelerated toward the next stop. When the doors opened, I bolted out into the rain, lungs burning, legs trembling. I turned back to see if Bill was okay, and my breath froze. Through the rear window of the bus, in the very last row, he was sitting again. Perfectly still, perfectly upright. And this time, he was smiling at me. I never rode Route 19 again. But sometimes, when I walk past a bus late at night, I catch a glimpse of a soaked figure sitting in the back row, waiting, watching, hoping I'll step inside again. If this midnight horror got under your skin, hit subscribe and stick with Huntra TV. Every story here pulls you a little closer to the dark. Until the dark finally pulls back. Stay alive. Until the next night.